Okay, boys, let's react to this Jimmy Butler report today from Shams, where basically Miami is open to receiving offers from Jimmy. It's not saying that they're shopping him or whatever, and we know that there's a looming extension thing that started in the offseason between Miami and Jimmy, where obviously they could not agree to a contract. Admittingly, I was on the fence about doing this vid because, I don't know, I usually lean more cautiously with this type of stuff, but it's a Shams report, so I guess it's okay. Cue the Miami fan saying, no, there's no way this happens. Look, I don't know, man. He has been very efficient lately. Miami's been good lately, as they've gone to the Jimmy, Bam, Hero, Duncan, and Highsmith starting five. But yeah, he has a player option after this season. He also makes almost $50 million, and so just trying to find the extension between him and Miami, it's not impossible. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but obviously we got this report today. Another team would have to worry about that sort of thing, and obviously matching potential salaries. He's also dealt with injuries, again, 35 years old, wants a big contract, but he's still really good. His all-around impact is there. So if Jimmy actually ends up getting moved, if you don't want your team to be in the running for this because of his age, health, future contract stuff, I think that's fair. If you think that he wouldn't help your team because of whatever, that I'm going to disagree with. I think Jimmy Butler would make every single team in the league noticeably better, assuming that you don't have to trade too many of your good players in order to do the move. I'm well aware that he doesn't shoot threes like that. I don't care. He's a very good player. We have also seen three teams pop up in Shams's thing. It was the Mavs, the Rockets, and the Warriors. And real quick before we get to that, the Miami draft pick situation over the next few years I do think matters in this. Basically, they owe a pick to OKC within the next 2 years. It's going to the Thunder no matter what. It's either it goes to the Thunder this year if the Heat make the playoffs, which is, not hard in the East, or the fifth seed right now. A lot of leeway even if they fell into the play-in. But if Miami does not make the playoffs this year, then their 2026 pick is unprotected to OKC. And this pick also impacts future protections on a Hornets pick, where basically if Miami made the playoffs this year, yes, you have to give OKC your pick, but it's better than 2026 as just being unprotected, and it also softens up the future Hornets pick as well. So while that might not be the first thing that everybody thinks about when it comes to a potential Jimmy trade, that has to matter. There is incentive for Miami to make the playoffs this year, besides just doing it to have fun, I guess. So anyway, now we can talk about these three teams. As you would expect in every trade video I ever do, it gets kind of tough here, man. I mean, in the case of the Warriors, it's salary-wise, it is very difficult to get to Jimmy's $48 million, especially because you pretty much have to have Wiggins in the deal. And Wiggins is back up to an efficient 17 a game. If you want some lineup numbers, he, Steph, and Draymond together have a plus 12 net rating. Now, don't get me wrong, Jimmy is better than Wiggins, but, trades are not that simple. We all know that. And so for the rest of that, the Warriors would have to include Melton. Yeah, again, I know. I said this in the previous video. Sucks that he got hurt. He was playing well, but it happens in the NBA. Guys get hurt, they get traded. And then you still need more money after that, and it becomes really do the Heat ask for Kuminga? If they don't, do they ask for 1 million draft picks? And it just becomes a whole thing, and again, Wiggins has just been damn good for the Warriors. But look, I mean, this is what it is. The Warriors are in the thing. This is how it would happen. They could, of course, not be interested. So I don't know. The next team to look at in that thing was Dallas. Similar to the Warriors, you just got to start kind of gutting the roster in order to get to Jimmy's $48 million, trading guys who actually matter. And again, that's just to get there money-wise, and Dallas already has picks that they owe to other teams, so that one is tough. They do have this year's pick that they can move. But yeah, I get it. I mean, Jimmy playing with Luka and Kyrie, yeah, it's very fun. I get it. It should also be noted that Luka's in his mid-20s. Things are going pretty good right now. And then we go to the Rockets, where, Raphael Stone, their GM, had a thing today where he said, basically, we're not trying to do anything crazy. Now, I'm sure GMs have said that before, and then they did something crazy not long after, but okay, that's what he said in the moment. And as far as Houston, if I could just plop Jimmy onto the Rockets, they definitely become a better team. But of course, it's not that easy. You can almost get there basically with Dylan Brooks and Steven Adams contracts. And then after that, they do have a bunch of smaller contracts that you could throw in there just to get the money to work. Who knows if Miami says yes. And I know that Dylan Brooks is occasionally a meme on Twitter, but Dylan Brooks matters for them. They are not as good defensively if it is not for him. And his shooting has also been good this season as well. But yes, Jimmy is obviously a much better player than Dylan Brooks. And personally, if the Rockets got Jimmy Butler, they would become my by far most watched team in the league. Besides the Celtics, you know what I mean. Now, the Rockets are already a middle-of-the-pack three-point shooting team, and we know Jimmy doesn't shoot threes. Even so, I think Jimmy just fits on every team in the league, really. But like I said in a previous trade vid about the Rockets, it really would not surprise me, and I would probably lean more towards this, that they just kind of chill. Okay, now just to kind of look around the whole league. I would love to see Jimmy in San Antonio. I don't think the Spurs are showing any signs of anything suggesting that they really want to speed this process up at all, which I think is fine long-term with Wemby. I don't think they really want to move picks or whatever. Contractually, like, yeah, they could basically get to Jimmy's money without moving anybody essential, but okay. Crazy enough, Atlanta actually made me think for half a second with Jimmy. Now, they can get there financially, numbers-wise, but you got to start dipping into guys who actually play. Not like Jalen Johnson. He's completely off limits. And the Hawks also, they're out a couple of picks, which could hurt them, but also it could incentivize them to just go for a deal like this one. I don't know. Again, so much of this is going to come down to just Jimmy's age, his money already. And, teams are not going to be looking to trade multiple picks for Jimmy, given all of that. Maybe Miami just has to be content with, like, one pick. I don't know. Imagining him on the Grizzlies is fun, but I don't think it's going to happen. Obligatory, could the Lakers get him? Yeah, possibly. You know it's not going to happen. Anyway, we'll see what happens, man.